Welcome everybody, welcome to Homestead Heart. And today I'm going to share with you how I store and preserve our farm fresh eggs. Y'all stay tuned. All right, you all. So right here on this counter, I have I have 3 dozen eggs on this counter. Okay. And these eggs were collected, the majority of them yesterday and a few from the day before. I haven't collected the eggs yet this morning. We have so many eggs. Our chickens are laying a little more than 2 dozen eggs every single day. So I'm going to show you how we store these eggs. All right. So the first way that we store our eggs is we're going to pickle them. Yeah. So let's get some of these eggs pickled. This will be part 1. All right. Because I store them 2 ways and it just might be too long of a video to try to put it all into one. So this will be the first video of how I store my eggs and how I pickle my farm fresh eggs. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and get these babies in some water. I got my water here in the pot, and all I'm gonna do now is get me a few dozen in this pot. I think I'm gonna do about 3 quarts of pickled eggs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna choose the largest eggs that we have on the counter. I'm actually going to choose these that are a little smaller. See the difference? Yeah. I'm going to choose the ones that are a little bit smaller for pickling because these are the ones that I'm going to have to get down into my canning jars, okay? And the big ones, show you what I'm going to do with them in the next video. Y'all, let's get to work. That egg is too big. Did I put that real big one in here? I bet I did. Okay. So I have 3 dozen eggs in this pot right here. 3 dozen eggs in this pot. I'm going to let this come to a boil, and then I'm going to let this boil for just a few minutes, and I'm going to turn off the heat. And then I'm just going to let this sit for about 15 minutes after it's done boiling for just a few minutes, okay? So y'all stay tuned. Once this is done boiling and our eggs are out of this pot, we will come back and we will start getting them pickled up. All right, you all, these eggs are now at a hard boil, and I'm going to let these eggs boil like this for 7 minutes. After that 7 minutes is done, I'm just going to turn the fire off, take the lid off, and we're going to let these babies cool down. That way we'll have the perfect hard-boiled egg ready to pickle and preserve. Y'all stay tuned. All right, you all, it has been 7 minutes. Our eggs have boiled pretty hard. I'm going to grab them out of the water now and get them in some ice water. Start cooling these babies down as quickly as I can. Ooh, it's cracking. Just get them in that water. All right, we're just going to let them sit in this water now for about 3 minutes. I know I probably don't have to teach y'all how to boil an egg, but I just thought, why not take y'all along for the whole process, right? So once these cool down just a little bit more, they're going to be ready to peel, and we can get them pickled. One thing I forgot to mention about fresh eggs is that they are very difficult to peel when you boil them. And one of the things that helps to peel fresh eggs easy is to make sure that you crack this shell all the way around. I mean, get it nice and cracked, every part, and then just have some water on standby that you can allow that cool water to get underneath that membrane. And once that water gets underneath that membrane, it makes it so much easier to pull away the shell. It makes it so much easier. So I forgot to share that part with you because our eggs are somewhat fresh and it's very difficult to peel them. I mean, difficult. So, but once that water gets underneath that membrane, then it will start to come off a lot easier. So yeah, it's always good to kind of let your fresh eggs just, if you're going to pickle them, it's good to just let those eggs sit out on your countertop or so, not in the fridge, but just out on the countertop for a good week or so. And that way, once you boil them, that membrane and that shell will literally just slide off like butter. But when you're doing it fresh, you gotta put in some elbow grease. All right, you all, so now we are going to make our brine. Now, in my pot, I've already started. I have a 2-to-1 ratio of vinegar and water. So I have 2 cups of vinegar to 1 cup of water in my pot. All right, and to this brine, I'm going to add about 3 bay leaves. These are small, so I'm going to add about 3. 4 bay leaves to this. And then I'm going to heat this up and bring it to a boil. Okay, so I'm going to add a teaspoon of turmeric to that and just give that a little stir. That was a half a teaspoon of turmeric. Give that a stir. I'm also going to add some pepper flakes to this. You don't have to add pepper flakes if you don't want to. And I am going to add a full teaspoon of garlic powder to that brine. I'm also going to add some mustard powder. Now, the one thing I'll say about pickling eggs is that you can literally do it, season it however you want, really. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of mustard powder to that. Let me see what this is. Anyway, this is a half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of salt went in there. I'm going to give that a whisk. And bring that up to temperature. Bring that up to a boil. This is some cilantro right here. I'm just going to put in a pinch of cilantro. And this is showing you that you can literally season these however you want. You can season them however you want. You can add whatever herbs, whatever flavors that you might like with your boiled eggs. You can add that. So I'm just giving that a nice little stir. Now, my canner is sitting here because I was going to can these and put these on the shelf. But I figured no need to do that because Mr. Homestead Heart loves pickled eggs and I'm not doing enough for them to last on the shelf. So, and plus, let me show you this. When you are doing hard-boiled eggs or pickled eggs, you want your eggs to look like this when you're pickling eggs, right? You want them to be smooth, beautiful, no cracks, no nothing on your egg, okay? Now, if you have an egg that looks like this, or you have an egg that looks like this where the shell just kind of pulls some of it off, these eggs you do not want to can and put on the shelf because you don't want any openings, any cracks in your hard-boiled eggs that could allow botulism into the center of that egg and make you sick. So if your eggs are not perfectly smooth without any cracks or blemishes. You don't want to put those on the shelf for long-term storage, because if you can pickled eggs, they'll last on the shelf 6 months to a year, depending on how you store them. They'll last you a while. But like I said, if they look like this, don't do that. Go ahead and pickle them, but they need to go in the refrigerator. Okay, no canning needed. So these eggs right here, I am going to get these eggs pickled, and they are going in the fridge. All right, y'all, my brine is boiling and doing its thing. Sure is. Y'all see those beautiful pepper flakes in there? Look at how beautiful that looks. That is a gorgeous brine, isn't it, y'all? But this brine is ready. All right, you all. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to add just a little bit of brine to the bottom of my jar. Just a little bit. Because I want to make sure that I don't have any air pockets in these jars, okay? So I'm going to add a little bit of brine, and then I'm going to start adding in my eggs. And I'm just going to drop those. Just going to drop those in. And we should get about a dozen in each one, and that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 eggs in there. See there? That is 12 eggs. I'm going to do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that's a dozen eggs per jar. Now, I've already checked the tops of my jars to make sure it's not chipped, no glass broken, none of that. Now, in one of these jars, y'all, Mr. Homestead Heart loves his spice. So, to one of these, I'm going to have to add 1/4 cup It can't be no other kind. Louisiana hot sauce. This is going right over the top. I know. And then I'm just going to sit this one on this side. And then we're going to go ahead and funnel in the brine. Y'all come closer. All right, so now we're just going to ladle over the hot brine. It's not going to take a lot for these. And I'm filling that all the way up, y'all. Let me get that bay leaf down in there. That's gonna stay. That's gonna be some great flavor. I don't need to worry about wiping the rims or anything like that. And I'm even gonna use some old lids. And I know a lot of people don't like to reuse their lids, but for things like this, where it's gonna be refrigerated, or if I'm gonna be just doing something where I'm just gonna be using my food saver to pull out oxygen or air or something like that, then I will reuse these because they are still in good shape. See what I mean? Look at there. They're still in good shape. So I'm just going to put that on. They've been washed. And then I'm going to grab a ring and put that ring on. I'm going to sit this to the side and go ahead and get this brine added to this as well. All right, y'all. So what I did was, I don't know if I recorded that part or not. What I did was I just added another 1/2 teaspoon of mustard powder to this jar, because I actually prefer more of the mustard powder flavor over the hot sauce flavor that Mr. Homestead Heart likes. So he likes his more with hot sauce. I like mine more with mustard powder. So we both have 2 jars there, but we will eat them either way, and more than likely I'll probably just end up dipping mine in some hot sauce anyhow. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and get my old lid added. Yes, I use my old lids for this because it's going in the refrigerator. So it's quite okay. It's still in good condition, so I can use it. They've been washed and cleaned. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on, and then we'll get the rings on. One thing I like to do with my rings as they get older is I like to boil them in vinegar and water, because sometimes they'll get this old rusty looking look on them, and so I'll boil them in vinegar and water to kind of help clean them up a little bit, and then wash them with some soap and water. But I'm going to get this put on and just put that on tight. There we have it. Pickled eggs, and these babies will last in your fridge for a minute, okay? Now, these right here, you do not want to eat your pickled eggs, okay, right away. You see how I'm doing that? Just trying to make sure I get that hot sauce and that mustard powder all through there. But you do not want to eat these right away. You actually want to let these sit in your refrigerator 2 weeks. And I know that's going to be difficult, but if you really want that delicious flavor to get all through your eggs, you have gone through all this hard work already. So if you want all of the flavors and spices that you added to your brine and to your jar, if you want to get a good experience of that, you want to let these sit in the refrigerator for 2 weeks. So to help you with that, take these and shove them all the way in the back of the refrigerator. Hide them behind the water jug, hide them behind the milk jug, put them on the second shelf in the bag so you don't see them, but try to forget about them for 2 weeks. Some people will eat them right away, but I find that if you let the flavor, you let these babies sit in this brine and flavor in your refrigerator for that amount of time, you will taste all of what you put in it, and it will be so good. Now, if I had some fresh jalapenos, Mr. Homestead Heart and his peppers, I would have added fresh peppers to this jar along with the hot sauce, along with the red pepper flakes. Yes, I would have. So that's it, y'all. That's how you can preserve your fresh eggs. And these will last in the refrigerator for a few weeks, actually. But if you want them to last 6 months to a year, then you would actually water bath can these for 15 minutes in these quart jars. Okay, so you can preserve them. You would do all of the same steps that I just did, but you would put it in your water bath canner, bring that water to a rolling boil, and then start your timer 15 minutes. Take them out, let them cool, and store them in a dark place, in a cool, dark place. And there they can last on your shelf 6 months to a year. If you keep it nice and dark and cool, they'll stay a year. Okay, so that's it. And y'all, this 2 dozen eggs right here that we pickled. Now, you know I did 3. Some of them didn't make it. This is what was left out the other dozen. The rest of them got eaten. Sure did. So we ended up with 2 quarts of pickled eggs, 2 dozen. So that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching Homestead Heart. I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the videos that we upload to our channel. So thank you again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video.